Thursday's hand-sewn runners. We're not going to waste any time with any fancy intros. We're going to get straight into this. So if you've watched any of my previous Thursday reviews, you know that the low top premieres were my first shoes from Thursday. And I really liked those. I went on to buy boots. I went on to buy multiple styles of Thursday footwear. So far, the stuff that I've gotten has been quality from them. I haven't been disappointed with anything I've got, so I've continued to expand my collection. And these are no different. I got these as kind of like a casual shoe I could just throw on real quick, go to the grocery store, go on walks around the city. A lot of times I like to just park my car in a parking garage and just walk around and explore different parts of downtown. And these are good walking shoes. I wouldn't necessarily wear them for running, even though they are called the hand-sewn runners, because I have this little magnet thing on here, so they're not super tight. But I would imagine if I took this off and just laced them up like normal shoes and tied them, they would be good running shoes because they're really light. If you feel these compared to the low top premieres, there's a pretty significant difference in the overall weight of the shoe. It's a different sole on the bottom of here. The leather right here, it's not super thick and they're still comfortable, don't get me wrong, but it is more of a walking, running shoe than like a casual shoe. The style is pretty unique, which that's what really caught my eye about it. I don't have any other shoes that really look like this in my collection. To me, it's kind of like a hybrid between a running shoe or a tennis shoe and like a loafer because it has that similar stitching as some of their loafers and like the loafers that I have. I'm going to do a review on those coming up. But it has a unique style. I've gotten compliments. People have kind of brought up like, where did you get those? Because it's not really your everyday shoe that you're gonna come across. Most people are wearing Nikes, wearing Adidas, or they're wearing some other big brand that's pretty noticeable. But these kind of fly under the radar because there's no logos, there's no flashy patterns, anything like that. And that's what really drew me to Thursday's footwear in general, is the fact that there's no logos. I like the fact they put the logo on the inside. They don't really stamp the logo on the outside of the shoe. And for business purposes, I guess that can be bad because you don't have like walking billboards. With most companies, the logo on their clothing is kind of like their walking billboard. But with Thursday, it's really the quality. It's the quality and the look of the items that they make, because when I wear their jackets out, people ask me like, where'd you get the jacket? Who makes the jacket? Because you can just tell it's a nice jacket, especially if you're going to like a club where they're gonna pat you down. I've had multiple bouncers be like, hey, that's a nice jacket. Like, where'd you get it? And it's a conversation starter. Same thing with the boots. The boots can be a conversation starter. People will ask, where'd you get the boots, man? I like those, or those are nice boots. Where'd you get them? Stuff like that I've heard on multiple occasions. Now, these aren't really something that I'm wearing out during night situations, so I haven't really had too many people just spark up conversations about the shoes, but I've worn these on a couple dates. I've worn them to people's houses, and my friends were curious about them when I first got them. I like the fact that they're nubuck. If you can't tell, they're not like your traditional smooth leather. So the nubuck, I believe it's like flipped inside out. So that way it just makes it a more rugged and durable and just a different finish overall. But I really like how they've held up. I've worn these quite a bit. Honestly, I think I've worn these more than the boots, because there for a while I was just wearing those all the time. If I was running to the grocery store, if I was going to like a friend's house and hanging out for the night, if I was doing like a casual date night, just throwing on some shoes, not going anywhere fancy, something like that, I would throw these on. So they got quite a bit of wear. I've had them for about a year, year and a half range, and they've held up nice. The leather on these, when I first got them, I mean, I've had them for a little while now, so they don't have that new leather smell. But when I first got these, they smelled, it's that satisfying leather smell. And basically all Thursday products have them. Obviously, certain things are going to smell more than others. I think it just depends on the surface area of the leather. Like when I got the jackets in, my closet had a very pungent leather smell. When you get a new pair of boots in, it's a reasonably strong leather smell. The shoes weren't quite as strong just because I think there's just not as much leather there, obviously, to produce that smell, but they still had that nice, clean leather smell where you open the box, you put them in your closet, and you just have that nice, satisfying leather smell. I always like to touch on that in my Thursday reviews because there's some companies where their shoes may smell like new shoes, but it's more like the chemicals and the fabrics that they're using in the manufacturing process. It's not really a leather smell. So when you get a quality leather product, you can definitely tell the difference between just smelling like a new shoe smell or like a tennis ball smell and actual quality leather. Definitely like to touch on that because it's definitely a different level of quality than you're gonna get in like your mass produced, your big brands. These are the original laces, which if you get a shoe with white laces, the laces are definitely not gonna last like this. I think the laces have only lasted this long because of the fact they're like Thursday's heavy duty leather laces. So if you get these, they're not going to come with your regular like tennis shoe laces. So that might be a pro for you, might be a con for you. Personally, I kind of like the look of the heavy duty leather laces on these. I think if I got the black pair, which I plan on getting the all black pair of these, I would want just like a black nylon lace or a black cotton lace on there. So that way I can tie them up and use them as more of like a running shoe or a gym shoe, something like that. But these, just because they're brown and white, I kind of just use them as like a casual, run into the grocery store shoe, stuff like that. Kind of like filling an empty void shoe. I'm not wearing anything fancy. I don't really need to throw on any dress shoes or a dress boot. And I think that's what these do perfect. You can wear these with shorts, obviously, but you can also style them with jeans, even chinos. If you really wanted to, you could get the black pair and style these with chinos and they would look really good. Personally, I'm more of a boot or like the low top premiers where I wear chinos. But if you only have like a couple pairs of shoes and you want to get the black pair of these as kind of like a all around shoe, I think they'd be great because they're really comfortable. They're lightweight to wear. You can walk in them. They're not going to hurt your feet. Overall, I've been overly satisfied with these. I got them on one of their warehouse sales where they sell like the second quality pieces at a slight discount. So I did get these discounted, but I haven't even noticed like what the quote unquote flaw was why they couldn't sell them for full price. At this point, I've had them for a while. They're a little beat up, even though they look fairly clean on the light just because I got bright lights shining on me. But they don't look brand new. They've been put through the ringer a few times. I've worn them out in the rain. I definitely haven't babied these shoes as much as I've babied some of the nicer boots that I have from them. They've gotten plenty of wear. They've held up awesome. So if you're looking for just an all-around casual shoe that you could really wear to the gym, you could wear running or walking, but you could also wear out on date nights and casual situations or just an everyday shoe. These are really versatile depending on the color that you get them. But honestly, I think I would have got a little more versatility out of the black pair, but I just like the brown nubuck. Like I said, the black pair is definitely going to be my second pair of these. So maybe in the future, after I've had the black pair for a little while, I'll do a second review, or maybe I'll do an unboxing where I compare the brand new pair to this pair. Who knows what the future holds, but I appreciate everybody who tuned in for this video. Hope you have a positive and productive rest of your day. Go lift some heavy shit, and I will see you in the next video.